What's up guys, Thoại here, and today I'm going to be bringing a kind of different video. So basically I was working on a top 5 video for ADs. It's going to be coming out in a few days. But when I reached number 1, obviously that was going to be Lucian because he's so strong right now. And the only thing I could really say was that he's really strong and he's probably going to get nerfed because he's everything that an AD wants in one complete package. That made me really think, well, does he deserve to get nerfed? Because he's kind of AD's last hope right now. He's really strong and he's able to deal with these feral flare junglers. So that's why I wanted to make this video and kind of talk about that. I'm also going to be talking about his strengths, so how you should actually play him in lane, so even if you're not interested in the balance side and my thoughts, you'll still have something to take away from this video. So let's start off then with why he's so strong, and I guess the biggest thing with him is that he has no weak point in the game. He's strong early before his first buy, he's strong in the lane phase, the mid game, and even late game as well. But that's not all, so he's a really good 1v1 duelist, so he can fight the enemy AD 1v1, the split pusher, or even top or divers, so when they dive into you in a team fight, you're able to actually 1v1 and normally come out on top, or at least survive until the rest of your team can help you. Now probably the biggest thing in lane phase that people don't really consider is his poke and how good it actually is. Now he has kind of two forms of poke in lane. He has his Q and his W, and I guess his ultimate is kind of a finisher to that poke as well. You can line up his Q on minions and it will extend past that minion and onto the enemy AD behind them, and that's a really good way of trading without taking any damage in return because they're so far away from you that they can't actually return any damage, and it's just so safe and easy to poke someone like that. Now when you get some AD and you do that a couple of times, you'll actually get complete control of the lane, which is kind of ridiculous, and then you come in with your ultimate and you just force them out of lane. Now the other thing to do with poking, which is so strong, is that his mana costs are so low on his Q. So a couple of patches ago they reduced his mana cost, and that's one of the reasons why he's suddenly become so popular again. It just means that you can buy a mana potion and pretty much spam your Q all the time and you're not really going to run out of mana. Now I've kind of already mentioned this a little bit, but he's very safe with his E and his ultimate. It's very rare for you to die to a gank because you can E and flash away, and in team fights you can E backwards, turn your ultimate onto your diver and then just fire it while walking backwards, and it's a really good way of getting away. Now some people don't like his ultimate, and it's understandable because it doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, but really you have to think of it in this way. So imagine your baby brother is punching you, in my case it's going to be Foxtrot punching me. Now Foxtrot punched me once, it's probably not going to hurt, but if he punches me 5 times, that's probably not going to hurt either. But if he punches me 20 times, eventually that is going to hurt. It's the same way with his ultimate, so the first bullet's not going to hurt, landing 5 is probably not going to hurt, but if you land your whole ultimate onto one target, it's going to do a lot of damage. So at the start of this video, I said that I don't really think he deserves to get nerfed, but after reading off all of these positive things and things that make him so strong, then maybe he does need a nerf. The problem is really when balancing Lucian, most of his strengths come from the lane phase. Most of his OP things stem from being so strong in lane. I honestly think that his mid game is where most ADs should have their mid game. That is how strong an AD should be when they come into team fights. Now there are a couple of reasons for this. So he's able to duel tanks and feral flare junglers mainly with his ultimate, and this is a really important thing, especially in this meta. Almost every popular jungler and every popular top laner has a gap closer, people like Jax, Irelia, and Nocturne, and so it's really important for you to be able to get away and then turn and fight. Now with Lucian, he can E after they've used their gap closer, and then he can turn with his ultimate and actually do a decent amount of damage and then turn and finish them off. Now if you think about other ADs that are popular, people like Graves, maybe even Jinx, they don't really have this way of escaping and turning and being able to duel that opponent because the opponent does so much damage up close and personal. This kind of moves on to the next thing as well, which is that Lucian has a good mix of ability and auto attack damage. Now if you think about someone like Ashe, she is mainly auto attack damage. If you think about someone like Graves, he's mainly ability power, but Lucian has a good mix with his abilities and his passive, which means that he's always going to be relevant in a fight. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I just wanted to really express my opinion on Lucian, and he's one of the ADs that I think you can have a real impact no matter how the game is going. So you can actually have a good chance of carrying the game even if your team is behind. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do like if you did, and I'll catch you in my next video.